recorded. Okay, and as we say in Harambe Twinde, that means let's go. So my name's Emily, and I'll be your safari driver for these next 2 weeks. Everyone knew that this was the 2-week safari, right? No. Okay.
You're gonna miss your plane.
Is everyone excited? No. Okay. I was like, oh no, this is not good. Like, okay, but I'm glad that you guys are at least excited. So, just a few things before we go ahead and get started. If you look above you, you'll notice an animal spotting guide. Those are just a few of the animals that we might see today. So, is this anyone's first time safari with us today? Raise your hands, tall and proud. A few of you? Okay, well, welcome. So if you guys want to have your cameras ready at all times, you never know when you're going to be seeing an animal. And if you have the ability to turn it on to sport or action mode, go ahead and do that.
Yeah,
I'm gonna slide over.
Because we can't stop for all the animals. If we did, then it would turn into a 2-month safari. And by your guys' reaction of the 2 week, we're just going to keep it to that. And also the animals, they're not going to stop for us. Okay. So now we can kick off our 2-week extravaganza by entering into the Little Aturi Forest. So a lot of the animals that live here are very shy, and so they tend to blend into their natural surroundings. So make sure to keep a close eye out in the bushes and trees. Okay, so right over to your right, far back against the wall, there's an okapi standing back there. Everyone see where I'm talking about? Okay. So by its back and by its legs, which animal do you think it's probably related to? Oh, someone knows a lot about okapi. Way to go, bud. And so, it's actually the most known relative to the giraffe. And they weren't even discovered by the Western world until 1901. And up until then, they were actually thought to be a mythical creature.
But I didn't tell her how much it was because I was like, oh, I'll be on the road with it. Yeah, that was just a bit losers. And I'm just like, you deserve it. Your fault.
Okay, and if at any time during these next 2 weeks something falls out of the track, go ahead and let me know right away. But over to your right, you have the saddle-billed stork. And the saddle-billed stork gets its name because of the unique marking it has on its beak, and its wingspan can go from 8 to 9 feet long. Okay, and if you look over to your left-hand side, up at the top of that hill, there are some greater kudu. And greater kudu are the second tallest antelope in all of Africa. You can tell that those are the females because males have great big horns. Okay, so now we're heading into the Safi River. And the Safi River is typically where some hippos like to hang out. So if you look directly to your right, you'll notice a hippo just lounging out, getting some sun. And hippos, when they're born, typically weigh up about 85 pounds or so. And then every single night they eat about 80 to 90 pounds. Okay, and if you look over to your left, walking around in the water there, oh, and it came up for air. There's a hippo right there. So hippos can actually hold their breath underwater for about 5 to 8 minutes at a time. And when they're in the water, they don't actually swim. They only go in water that's shallow enough so that they can just walk or run across the bottom. Okay, and then also on the island to the left, there are some pink-backed pelicans. And pink-backed pelicans are the largest bird on the island, but the smallest of the pelican species. And then coming up on your left again, there's one walking around. A hippo, not a bird. Hippo. In the water. Is it gonna come up? Is it not? Well, that's a tease. You'll notice a baobab tree. And the baobab tree is also known as the upside down tree because it is leafless 9 months out of the year. So it always looks like its roots are sticking up from it. And its trunk is used to store water, and baobab trees can actually live to be up to about 1,000 years old. Okay, and so as we enter into the savannah, you'll notice a completely different change in landscape than what we were just in. Much more wide open space than what we were just in. And so the savannah is home to one of the most migrated spaces in all of the world. It stretches on for about 150 miles or so throughout East Africa. This is typically where you may start to see some of the more famous animals like elephants, lion, and giraffes. So keep an eye open for those and many more throughout this trip. Okay, and so if you look over to your left, right next to the log here, there are some African wild dogs. And African wild dogs also have the nickname of the painted dogs because of their unique markings that they have. So even though they may look all cute and cuddly, they are actually the most successful hunters in all of Africa. So unlike most dogs, they only have 4 toes instead of 5. And there's 2 alphas in every pack. There's an alpha male and an alpha female.
New.
Okay, so over to your right in the center, there's Patterson eland, and those things running, those are white-bearded wildebeest on your left. And so you'll notice that they're all in a herd, so you'll hardly ever see just one wildebeest by himself. And so about 1.5 million wildebeest travel about 500 to 1,000 miles together each year. That one doesn't know what it's doing. Okay, so if you look over to your right-hand side, back in the bushes near the tree, there are some Ankoli cattle. And so Ankoli cattle, their horns stand from about 3 to 6 feet tall, symmetrically depending. And even though they may look heavy, they're actually not, because on the inside of them, it's shaped like a honeycomb. So that helps to circulate their blood flow and keep their body temperatures cool. But if you look over to your right, you'll notice some giraffes. And these are Maasai giraffes, and you can tell because their spots are more messy than the clean cut that you're probably used to seeing. So when giraffes are born, they typically stand at about 6 feet tall, and then they can grow anywhere to be about 18 to 20 feet tall. You'll notice that a lot of them are walking around or eating, and to say giraffes eat a lot is kind of an understatement, to be honest, because they eat for about 16 to 18 hours every single day. Okay, and so now we're heading into Monkey Point, and Monkey Point is bordered by elephant country. So if you look over to your right, you'll notice an elephant. And you can go ahead and assume that this is a male elephant because it's all by itself. And elephants actually have the second longest childhood out of all mammals. They tend to stick with their mothers for about 13 to 15 years. And after that, the males are forced to leave the herd and to go into isolation. So walking around on your left-hand side, there are some mandrills. And mandrills are the largest monkey in all of Africa. There's one right by this bush over here. They kind of blend in with the trees too, so a little bit harder to see. Oh, and there's a better view of the elephant over to your right. And so since elephants have the second longest childhood out of all mammals, does anyone know who has the first longest childhood? Humans do. We tend to stick with our parents for quite some time. Some longer than others, but you know, still a very long time. Okay, and this bridge is a little bit old. Okay, the front tires are off, so I'm safe. Oh, and they're in the back. Okay, you guys are safe too. That would have been really awkward otherwise. Okay, so now we're heading into the red clay pits. This is typically where you may see some more elephants, and you can tell because of the markings that are on the walls that they might be around. And those markings are made by the elephants' beautiful, beautiful ivory tusks. However, it is those beautiful ivory tusks that the elephants have that are unfortunately the reason why they're being poached today. And does anyone know what elephants are afraid of?
Mice.
Mice, and what else?
A rat.
They're afraid of bees. And so right now, the Disney Conservation Fund is working hard to find out how we can use even just the sound of bees to deter elephants from wandering into villages so that they're not unnecessarily poached. Oh, it seems like we're having radio frequency problems today. I'm really, really sorry about this, guys. We're getting into a station from the Harambe village, but if you look over to the left, you'll see some elephants, so just kick back, relax, enjoy, and listen to the music. on the island, there is a flamboyant. And a flamboyant is the group name for flamingos. And so these are the greater flamingos, and so they are the largest of the flamingo species, and also the least amount of pink. And flamingos get their pink color from the food they eat, like shrimp. Ah. The dude in the yellow shirt back there, he knows all about his animals. Okay, so if you look over to your left, laying out in the middle underneath the shade, there's a cheetah. And cheetahs are the fastest land mammals. And do you know how fast they can run?
70 miles an hour.
Oh my gosh, this kid. And so they can run up to about 70 miles an hour. But they can only do that for very short increments before they break. And so they actually have a unique marking on the inside of their eyes that is shaped like a teardrop and it's black. And that's to help reflect the sun out of their eyes. And if you look over to your left again, laying underneath the shade, there are two cheetahs again. And so cheetahs are actually the only cats to hunt during the daytime instead of at night. And they're the only big cats to purr. And they don't make a roaring sound, they make a chirping sound.
There he is.
Okay, so if you look up in between the two rocks way up there, nuzzling its head against one of the rocks, there's a lion. So lions typically remain inactive about 16 to 20 hours of the day. And I relate to the lion because I'm a college student, so I also remain inactive 16 to 20 hours of the day. And so if we have any wilderness explorers on board though, you're riding in Simba 1. Our truck name is Simba 1 for any wilderness explorers. And Simba actually translates to lion in Swahili. But over on your right hand side, there are some zebras. And zebras, their stripes are unique to just them, just like how our fingerprints are unique to just us. And also on the right, the brown and white animal, that is a bontebok. And unfortunately, bontebok are already extinct in the wild and only remain in reserves. And coming up, sleeping on the rock, there's a male lion. And then there's another lioness way up at the top there. And so, lion, when they do their hunting at nighttime, it's actually the females that do the hunting and the males stay back at the pride.
He's so
Ooh.
Okay, so over on the left, there are some warthogs. And warthogs are the largest burrowing mammals.
Their face is like a shovel. They're so cute. They're like being in a rhino. Oh, wow. Hello.
Okay, and then over on the left-hand side, there's some white rhinos. And so white rhinos, unfortunately, just like the black rhinos, are becoming extinct due to poaching. The poaching is for their horns, which is actually made out of the same protein as our hair and fingernails are. So white rhinos, yes, they are in gray in color. They get their name from a mistranslation from the Afrikaans word white.
Baby rhino.
And so they can weigh up to about 5,500 pounds. They can run at about 35 miles an hour. So there's some little ones. They say they're little, but they're still really big. So smaller than average sized rhinos. Okay, so coming up on the left, there is a scimitar horned oryx. And scimitar horned oryx get their names because their horns resemble the scimitar's sword. And these are desert animals, and so they can withstand 115-degree heat before they even start to sweat. And they actually get all the water that they need through the food they eat, so they don't actually have to ever drink water. Okay, and unfortunately, our 2-week journey is almost to an end. I guess they really mean it when they say time flies when you're having fun, because to me it only felt like about 21 minutes or so. But if you guys want to go check out some more animals, you can head right on down to the Pangani Forest Trail. It takes about 20 minutes to walk the entire thing, and there's never any wait time, so that's always a nice added benefit. There's a bunch of different cool animals like monkeys, gorillas, zebra. There's an underwater viewing section for the hippos. It's a lot of fun. And then also, if you ever want to do anything about the conservation of our animals, just go out and share the word. Share it with your friends and with your family, in person, on Facebook, Twitter, however you want to do it. And let people know that unfortunately, if we don't start doing something for these animals soon, then in the few generations to come, we might not even have them around anymore. And if you want to learn more about extinction, just go to Dino Land. They can teach you all about it there.